Well, welcome to the Sears Catalog in World War One. We're not going to really cover these in depth. Two huge topics, but I want to introduce you to the advertising for both of them. Uh, and when you're watching it, I want you to think in the back of your minds, the Sears Catalog and Amazon.com and World War One and the upcoming presidential campaigns. The Sears and Montgomery Ward catalogs. Montgomery Ward started, I think, in the 1870s, Sears 1880s. Now, these two catalogs were in millions of houses across the country. And there was a special place for them usually on a table somewhere. And you would sit down and pick one up and do your virtual shopping. Sears ended up on top, figuratively and literally. How did Sears get on top? Well, they did something really smart. They made their catalogs just a little bit smaller than the Montgomery Ward catalogs. So they'd always be on top, be the first one you would pick up. This is akin to cracking the Google search algorithms. Richard Warren Sears. If someone asked you to name the most widely read writer at the turn of the century back then, it would be Richard Warren Sears. Catalog copywriting came naturally to Sears. He had written every word of the first small R.W. Sears watch and supply company, then a 32-page catalog for the A.C. Roebuck Company in 1891. Now, in deliberate contrast to Ward's formal style, Sears used a friendly, folksy tone that included touches of humor, such as, if you don't find it in the index, look very carefully through the entire catalog. Remember, he uses touches of humor. Self-wringing mop. The mop is made of cotton coils, large and full size. As the hands do not come in contact with the water, chapped, scalded, and sore hands are avoided. The mop being wrung at arm's length, there is no stooping or straining of the back or shoulders. The hands are not soiled or disfigured by the wringing of a filthy, greasy cloth. As the clothing is not drenched or disfigured as in ordinary mopping, no special preparation is required. A silk dress can be worn with impunity. The floor can be mopped in case of need and other duties resumed as though no interruption had taken place. Well, I don't know. I find that to be as funny and witty as the Swiffer Duster ads. If I had to write an about page or a mission statement, I would read this about 10 times. Then I would take a walk around the block, maybe even sleep on it, and come back and write my own. We make mistakes, so do all houses, but when we do make them, we are always glad and anxious for an opportunity to rectify the mistake. Notwithstanding, we employ every known modern convenience in conducting our business. Errors will occasionally creep in, and unless our customers report such errors, we have no opportunity of righting the wrong. We have learned in several cases where a small error has cost us the loss of a valuable customer, although the error was unavoidable, and we would have gladly corrected it if given opportunity. In this way, we are sometimes blamed for things of which we are entirely innocent. Don't fail to report any oversight, shortage, inattention, or error on our part. Do it pleasantly if possible. If not pleasantly, report it anyway, and you will find us quick to right any wrong. Well, he has stuck his finger and poked around in every nook and cranny, and he's had so much fun doing it. Let's get into the guts of the Sears catalog. I'm not going to have too much to say. I'm not a graphic designer, illustrator. I'm not a book designer. I'm not even a PowerPoint designer, as you can probably tell. But Someone is interested in this. Lots of people love to look through the Sears catalog today, probably for historical reasons, but I think also artistic ones too. Farm power equipment. Sears sold a lot of equipment to farms, a lot of business equipment, and I don't want to get into a whole historical thing, but it really helped the economic and racial parity of the country. You can read about it yourself, look it up. Color, I remember the Sears catalogs as being very colorful. Uh, and later on, they started to break up the ads with inspirational stories. And fashion, 20s, 30s, 40s, the history of middle class fashion can be found by looking at all these Sears catalogs. Oh, and don't forget the 50s. Christmas. Oh my heavens. I remember the Wish book. That's how old I am. Um, Boy, that top illustration, Sears Christmas book on the left. That is just so nice, don't you think? And look at all those presents. I remember uh, getting the Sears catalog whenever it came, probably the beginning of November or something, I don't know, and leafing through it. Boy, what a joy that was. And Sears sold homes. That's a whole other story. I would, not a real estate agent, but I bet you anything, if you took a look through this book, you'd probably get some ideas. And the catalogs went all the way to 1983. Now, one of the things we hear today, at least a few years ago, we heard about Sears going under. And it's like, what happened to Sears? Isn't Sears horrible? Or what a failure. What a failure Sears was. Sears was a monumental success for 100 years. Nothing is going to be around forever. Amazon obviously replaced it, but do you honestly think that in 100 years Amazon will even be around? I mean, Amazon will fail someday, and everyone will be writing, oh, Amazon, what a failure. I don't think so. There is so much to learn by studying the advertising and marketing and business techniques of Sears. Guess what these are? These are not catalogs, oddly enough. These are reprints of catalogs that people actually go out and buy. I bought a few because it's just so fascinating and you learn so much by leafing through these old Sears catalogs. Look, I found some in my library. So I'm sure they'll be in your library too. It will be worth your while to take a look at a bunch of Sears catalogs. Curl up on the couch. And when we talk about Amazon, I have a real tough time thinking that somehow in 100 years or 50 years, someone's going to put together a book or an ebook or something of old Amazon pages. I just don't think so. It's not that interesting. There is so much more to learn by taking a look at the old Sears catalogs than looking at Amazon today.